Hello, so since many of you guys asked for it, I will be maxing my Dori today, regrettably. I am recording this audio in post, and she does ridiculous damage, ironically. So let's start off by leveling her up, and then we'll hop right into the weapons. So starting with weapons, we're going to be taking a look at the Wolf's Gravestone here. This is going to be probably her best weapon for overall DPS, and the Redstone, or the Redhorn Stone Thresher is going to be viable for those incredible crit damage builds. You would just need to orient her more around defense percent to kind of stack its passive damage with crit rate artifacts. For 4-star options, the Blackcliff Slasher is going to be a good option if you do have enough crit rate on her kit and you are continually killing enemies fast enough to kind of proc its passive. I would avoid the Serpent Spine because Dori will not fully utilize its passive. As far as artifacts go, I would highly recommend you running Thundering Fury or Gladiators. Thundering Fury is great for additional electro damage, and it decreases the cooldown on her elemental skill while she has her imbued normal attack for all reaction comps and boosts overall reaction damage. But she does not necessarily need the cooldown on her skill in most rotations since it is only 9 seconds, and she will be on-fielding for longer than her imbued attack allows for. If you were going to focus on spamming her elemental skill as much as possible, her passive talent, An Eye for Gold, inherently decreases the cooldown on her elemental skill when any electro-related reaction is triggered through her ultimate to kind of have a decent uptime for non-thundering teams when she or any character is kind of connected to that ultimate tether. So Gladiator's Finale, in my opinion, is going to be the best choice for all-around builds, as many people have great pieces for this set. While it boosts her attack percent and normal attack damage by 35%, which is also dealing electro damage on top when her normal attack is imbued, and that can have its resistance decreased by other party members. Two-piece Wanderer's Troop or any other two-piece can be viable, but it is suboptimal. I would avoid the Flower of Paradise Lost unless you are going to be going for an Elemental Mastery-based Hyperbloom build. For this DPS scenario, you're going to want to avoid HP percent as you normally would in like a healer application build. Elemental Mastery can be useful unless you are running an Elemental Res Shred or an Elemental Mastery / damage buffing unit like Kazuha, Xilonen, Sucrose, or Nahida. Prioritizing electro damage bonus, attack percent, and crit rate, crit damage is going to be your way to go. With an additional electro battery, you're just, Raiden or something like that. You can easily achieve her burst every rotation. Without it, it can be difficult because its energy cost is high, so I would measure your elemental recharge and try and find a good balance to the team that you are running. If it's, one battery, I would hover around 120 to 140%. And with no battery, I would recommend higher. So to try and maximize her personal damage, you're going to really want to focus on running an electro damage goblet to boost her electro-infused normal attack. With her talents, there wasn't really any information available that I could find that reveals if the dendro damage scaling applied to Dori's normal attack through her Constellation 6 scales with her normal attack talent level, but I can imagine that it does, so I would advise leveling her normal attack as I will be leveling her normal attack and her elemental skill to level 8 while trying to keep her burst at level 6 since it has very little utility in DPS scenarios other than it's just a trigger. Now, for team comps, before you go crazy, yes, I am using strong buffers, but I do want to just illustrate the maximum damage output that you can be dealing in these team comps. The best comps I could come up with were a Hyper Bloom comp, an Overloaded comp, and a National Team comp. So for the Hyper Bloom comp, I'm looking at Nahida, Raiden, or Xilonen, Dori, and Farina. The team's going to utilize Nahida as an EM buffer and a Dendro applicator. Raiden would be the Electro applicator in addition to Dori, also giving Electro Resonance to boost particle generation. Xilonen, in her place, would be another generator, but also decreasing Electro resistance, and she is also wonderful at C2 for particle gen and burst decrease time. Dori as the on-field Electro DPS, and Farina as the Hydro applicator and buffer through her fanfare stat gain, while Dori has her burst down. And Overloaded, we're looking at Xilonen, Dori, Chevreuse, Zhongli. This team's going to focus on having Xilonen reduce the enemy's elemental resistances, and Chevreuse is going to be that pyro applicator and damage buffer. Zhongli is going to act as the shielder and will provide geo resonance with additional resistance through his shield as well. A good national team would be, for like a 4-star situation, would be Dori, Zhongling, Xingqiu, and Sucrose. If you wanted to kind of swap out the 5 stars, you would do Dori, Zhongling, Yelan, Kazuha, or Xilonen. And you could also throw in Bennett in those scenarios, trying to target different resonances. So, keep that in mind. Those are also good options. I'm going to be focusing her Hyperbloom team here, and let's hop right into that.